Welcome back to the County News Podcast. I'm Nicole Weissman, and this is our series from the National Center for Public Lands Counties. This series of interviews took place at NACo's 2024 Western Interstate Region Conference, with the goal of shedding light on the experiences of public lands counties and the officials who lead them. In this, our sixth and final episode in the series, NACo Executive Director Matt Chase interviews Modoc County, California Supervisor Ned Coe.
Well, welcome to the National Association of Counties podcast, Talking Public Lands. I'm Matt Chase, the Executive Director of the National Association of Counties, and we have recently launched a new National Center for Public Lands Counties, and I'm really honored to be joined by a California Supervisor, Ned Coe of Modoc County, and he's a leader in the Western Interstate region here. We are in Mariposa County, outside of Yosemite National Park, and we've been spending a lot of time this week focused on how counties have to work with our federal partners on a regular basis. And the supervisor's from a county that has 70% federally owned public land. And we want to talk to you, Ned, about what is the county doing and what's it like to have to partner with the federal government, and what are some of the interesting ways that you're partnering with the federal government?
So the Modoc County Board of Supervisors has had a close working relationship for many years with our Modoc National Forest, including meeting monthly with forest leadership and a couple of our county supervisors, addressing issues that impact the county and working with the Forest Service in conjunction to have hopefully a more thriving community in addition to a healthy forest.
So one of the big issues is nobody has enough resources. The federal government, despite having a large budget, never has enough money for the scale of the projects that we need to keep our forests healthy. The county obviously has limitations on how much money you can raise, but you all have really been innovative in helping the Forest Service with its staffing challenges and really creating an innovative program of using retired Forest Service employees and others, I believe, to help do some of the work so that you can appropriately harvest the timber on these federal lands, help the local economy with jobs, keep the forest healthy. Talk to us about what you guys are doing there.
So it is a unique program, and for lack of a better name, we started referring to it about 15, 20 years ago when it was launched as the Retired Workers Program. The genesis of it was a timber sale that was all ready to go into harvest, but the Forest Service did not have a road engineer available to do the final paperwork on the Forest Service roads that would allow the sale to start. And it looked like it was going to put the sale off for a whole nother season, yeah. Another year. We have a very narrow window of when we can actually work because even though we're California, we're high mountain desert, a lot of snow, pretty harsh winters. The county partnered with the Modoc County Farm Bureau to hire a retired Forest Service engineer. We were able to get that program or that sale up and running, and the Forest Service was very appreciative of it because they have federal hiring constraints,
right,
timelines and stuff like that, and there was no way that they were going to be able to pull this off in the time frame that was available.
And just for our listeners, just a little context, when your county government was 70% of the land mass being held by the federal government, that only means you have a maximum 30% of taxable land to run the county and all the services. You really rely on the revenue sharing with the federal Forest Service for timber harvesting. One, it's really important for tax revenue, for local job creation, and to keep a healthy forest. So it's not just that you couldn't harvest the timber, it would hurt the county budget, it would hurt the local economy. And so this is really essential that you navigated this and figured out how to get this paperwork completed.
And those were the reasons that both the county government and the County Farm Bureau stepped up. And in the past 15 to 20 years, this program has grown from hiring that first one engineer to this past year hiring everything from entry-level positions that worked on fire fuels management projects to all kinds of ologists, whether it's an archaeologist, a biologist, hydrologist, whatever was needed for the Forest Service to be able to move forward on a project where they had a missing key component to it.
You just made a great point that I don't think we always think about, is the level of science and the real expertise, the technical expertise that both the Forest Service needs, the county needs, the overall community needs. These aren't just jobs that you just go find anybody anywhere.
Exactly, and that retired community is there and ready to fill those needs.
Yeah.
They have the expertise, and it's a lot of them enjoy being able to come back and work for anywhere from a couple weeks to maybe the summer season, fulfilling that. And it's also created a lot of those entry-level positions that have gone on to provide full-time employment in the Forest Service through projects that they're working on.
And how does the Forest Service view this program? Are they appreciative that you're extending their capacity?
Locally, they are over the top, and even on the regional forest level, the Modoc Forest and Modoc Farm Bureau and the county have received special recognition from the regional forest, because it is a unique model that is at this point only being done there, but it would be neat if it could be replicated throughout the West, because there's a shortage in those kinds of very specialized positions.
It almost reminds me of back in the New Deal era, when that's how a lot of these public works projects got done. Was almost a similar type of program here. But so tell me a little bit more about your county, just to give us a sense. We're here in Mariposa County, outside the gateway of Yosemite. You're not that many miles from here, but you're a lot of hours. So talk about the landscape of your county and just this whole region.
We're in what is referred to as the Intermountain region. We're actually located north of the Sierra Nevada mountain range and a little bit east of the Cascade Mountain Range. High mountain desert. Average elevation in the county is 4,500 feet in the valley floors, and mountains extending up to 8,000-9,000 feet.
So steep terrain.
Steep terrain, a series of communities in smaller mountain valleys. Agriculture is key to the county, and that's beef cattle and hay. The county does extend up into the Klamath Project, Tule Lake area, and there's a number of specialty crops, including potatoes, horseradish, garlic, mint, grown up in that area. But agriculture is the number one private sector driver. In the county.
So just as we wrap up here, as a county supervisor, what's your day like? What are you really focused on? What are your priorities? Because you've got to work on everything from housing to behavioral health to criminal justice to forest management. Like, tell me a little bit about what your average day is like, or your week.
Well, I was going to say, you must have just read my board packet that I downloaded this morning, because all those topics were on the Tuesday board meeting. We are what is considered a part-time board. I do have full-time employment with California Farm Bureau, and I also have a small ranching operation myself.
You're busy.
So, as a county supervisor, my day starts very early in the morning, and I do a lot of my email and my reading then, and I personally have to juggle it around a number of other items with it being part-time in nature, but full-time in the hours that you put into it.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for your public service. What I really appreciate is you're a solution-oriented leader, that you have that experience with the Farm Bureau, ranching, public service, which really gives you a lens into the community and all the different interests in a community. But I think what we're trying to do with this National Center is show that through collaboration, we can get things done, that we don't have to accept status quo, and that when crisis occurs, like budget shortages or retirements, you can be creative in finding your solutions. So any closing words that you'd like to offer?
Growing up in a ranching community probably is a very good foundation to being a county supervisor or a county commissioner, because you learn from a very young age that you have to find solutions that oftentimes just aren't off the shelf.
That's right.
And
the animals need to eat.
Yes,
they need to drink.
They gotta be fed, and sometimes they have a different schedule than we had in mind.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Talking Public Lands. Supervisor Ned Coe from Modoc County, California. Thank you again.
Thank you for what you do for our counties. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the County News Podcast and our series brought to you by the National Center for Public Lands Counties. For more information about this new center and NACo's work on public lands, visit naco.org.